All right, I'm on hole number 9 of the 2020 Community Cup. I'm in Monday's practice round in the rookie division, and I'm sure that if you're a new viewer and you're watching these and you've watched all of them up to this point, you're probably thinking this guy is an idiot. How has he done anything at all in this game? And that's you got to understand. Today is a practice round. Practice. I'm not trying to get everything in the cup today. I'm worried about clubs and ball today, and really everything else. Anything else I get to take other than club and ball is just a bonus. Bring out a big power ball. And okay, so I shot a video earlier on in the week. It's a couple above. I don't know why I took a picture of that. If you bring out a 5 power ball, if you got an extra mile and you bring out a 5 power ball, your red line's right up here. So you can put it in this pocket up here, take out the wind, no overpower, and get as much distance as you can. If you bring out a 4 power ball, your red line's like right in here. So you've got a little bit of room, and you could put on a little bit of overpower. The problem that I have with this type of shot with a power 4 ball is that overpower, like, okay, I'm going to use half overpower. When you're starting to try and use, for me, it's either just a little teeny bit of overpower, no overpower, or max overpower. But when you're trying to do that, I'm going to do half overpower, and you get that wrong, then bam, you're in the rough, bam, you're in the drink. And so it's either no overpower or just a little teeny bit if you're bringing a 4 power ball. But if you start trying to really push the limits down here, you can find yourself in a bad situation really, really quick. With a 3 power ball, your red line's back up in this area, and you can put max overpower on it and get yourself back up to the front of this if you take the wind out. If you bring a big topper, your red line with a 3 power ball is going to be, you're more back in this area. And so instead of hitting over here to the right where you can pick up this distance, you're going to be more over here on the left, and it's going to give you a straighter trajectory, so you don't have to put as much curl on it. And I'm not sure whether you can net more distance with I think it could go either way. I'm going to bring just to get this out of my system. I'm going to bring a big topper. Maybe I'm going to bring a big topper and a Titan, the king of balls. Now we may not be, okay, do you bring a big topper or do you bring a kingmaker? If you're using the wind and you're leaving all the wind in, a Titan's going to work better because it's going to have more wind for you to use. If you're taking the wind out, then a kingmaker is going to be better, because if you've got a second shot that's coming up to the green, you're off the green, you're taking that chip, then you're going to cut the wind down. So if we're taking all the wind off, if we're using the wind, a Titan works better. If we're not using the wind, a kingmaker works better. Here's the problem on this type of hole if you're using the wind. Let's say today we have a 3 mile an hour wind, and in the weekend round we have a 5 mile an hour wind. That 2 miles per hour that's on there is the difference between not being in the rough on the island and being in the rough on the island. And if you're in the rough on the outside edge on the island, you're going to end up in the drink. So this is definitely one of those holes that if you can, it's better to take the wind out. But it'll just depend on the clubs that you have and the balls that you're willing to bring out there. I'm going to try the big topper just because I want to see like what kind of distance I get out there in front. I'm not sure in rookie, because our winds are lower, if we can get on. Even with my extra mile 9 coming up on the island, up on the top on the right hand side, it may be possible to get on it. But here's the deal: you don't want to dribble on. You either want to be up there by the pin or you want to be off, because if you dribble onto this green, it is a max overpower putt that you cannot make. This green is massive. This is an old green from when the game first came out. And while you look at it from right here and it looks like, hey, anywhere you end up on there, you can make it. No. Now there is a backboard. So if you end up over here on the back side of this, it will roll down to the cut. But if you're on the front side of this green or over here on the edge on this side right here, you cannot make the putt. I mean, it's even max overpower. You can't get to the hole. So you either want to get some distance on the green and be up towards the pin, or you want to be right off the green. In the last Community Cup, on the front 9, I albied all 3 of the par 5s. And then on the back 9, I got on this hole and I dropped 3 shots. I'm not saying it cost me the tournament, but it cost me the tournament. I can laugh about it now. I was not happy about it at the time. I can tell you that. I was not happy. So you can see where the red line is with a 3 power ball with the big topper. So I can barely get over. And I have no option here because I only have 1 bag. So I'm definitely going to use the wind here. I'm going to be in that area. It's a titch over a ring. And I'm going to put the forward moving wind back in it. And I'm going to do max overpower and a little bit of curl. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And we'll see how much forward rolling distance that all that topspin gives me. See if I can get in front of those shadows. Not likely. Bigger ball. I had plenty of room there with that big topper. I could have brought out, if I brought out a 5 power ball with that big topper, I may or may not have to do any overpower up there in the front. And a 4 power ball might work better with a big topper, and a 5 power ball might work better with the extra mile. And depending on your extra mile topspin level, so if you got like a level 6 extra mile, like I have on my lower developed account, you're definitely probably going to net more distance with a 5 power ball and a big top. You know, you're going to have to play those to see which one will net you more distance. Ideally, you want to be in front of those shadows. So then you have a nice short shot. I think I'm going to be somewhere in my max wedge range, which is 1.3 per ring. Let's see. I'm in my minimum Hornet, which is 2.4 per ring. .4. There's 4.8. So I'm going to do 1 1/3 rings. I keep hitting great to the right today. That was great to the right. So if you're in that range right there, that's not a bad shot with the Hornet. And it doesn't look like we have to do any special wind adjustment coming into the cup. I hit a 1 ring great to the right, and that was right off the cup. So we'll have to hit that perfect to see if it ends up, because I was real close to the cup. So a perfect may have been right on the edge of the left-hand side of the cup. We'll have to hit that perfect a couple times to see what the deal is. But my goal in the weekend round is to try and get a little bit closer. But that's not a bad spot to be. I want to make sure I don't qualify today. I'm not sure where I'm at, but I don't want to take any risks that people start tanking it. Monday's practice run, it's super important to keep your scores low. Now, -5 should not get me in, but and I could have forfeited there and did the deal. So you never know on these Monday qualifying rounds, depending on your bracket. I've come in here and like tanked it when I'm at -2, no big deal. And then I got up the next day and came in and somebody above me went, you know what, I don't like this round. And then they forfeited a couple holes in a row. And then I ended up qualifying. So it's really important not to qualify on the practice day, especially since we're just tanking these holes. So we got -15s up here at the top. Talking about minimum score. So, I mean, at an absolute minimum, -30 is what you're looking for. But if we take these holes, and I'll have to do now that we've gotten into it, I'll have to do a video on what the minimum score is. We'll have to walk through them and kind of add up the deal. But I will tell you that in the weekend round, if you shoot anything less than a -30, you have 0 chance of winning. It's going to be -30 plus in order to win. And in last year's tournament, it was -34 plus is what it took to win. And so we've got there's a few holes in this year's tournament that are tougher. A couple of these par threes that are a little bit tougher than last year's tournament, because last year in the first Community Cup, people picked the easiest holes in the game. They had some of the Tour 1 holes in the game, the metal, whatever the heck it is. So this year is a little bit tougher, but there's still some serious chances here to pick up shots. All three of the par fives have an Albie look. All three of the par fours have an eagle look, and two of them we have to get eagle. So right there is 6 shots on your minus 12. So you're looking at minus 18, and then the par threes being the wild cards. Even if you got 1 and 3, then you're looking at minus 19 per side. So you're looking at minus 38. So the swing can go from minus 30 to minus 38 for our deal. So like looking at minus 34 is kind of like our base number to get us in the opportunity to win. It's probably not too far off the mark, but a minus 30 will get you in the right direction. But you need to build on it. And I know if you shoot a minus 30 and you're thinking, wow, I shot a minus 30, that is an awesome round. You're going to have to shoot better than that awesome round in order to get a banner this week. The scores are going to be absolutely crazy. This is usually not the type of tournament that's like my cup of tea because of that. I like tournaments that are a little bit tougher where you really have to grind it out and it's super hard to pick up shots. Those are usually more in my line. But this is going to be a wild tournament. When we're talking about minus 30 as the minimum score just to give yourself an opportunity to start building on trying to get a banner, it's a wild tournament. And these scores are going to get better and better as the week goes on and people start dialing it in, just like me trying to dial in what clubs to use and what ball to use. So the week is going to be wild as we go along, and you're going to have to, some of these holes, we're definitely going to have to pull out some bigger stuff, especially in the weekend round to try and increase our odds. But some of these holes, you have to practice with that. You have to practice with those bigger balls now so that you know what to do, and you can't wait until the weekend round on some of them. Some of them we can change that ball out in the weekend round, but some of them we have to get a little bit of practice time. All right, that was Monday's practice round in my odd account. And I will jump on and play my 77 account. Now I have some notes to go on, so I know kind of what I'm doing. So I'm not worried so much about ball and club. Now I'm trying to figure out the area that I want to land. And I can start not necessarily taking a look at the wind adjustments today, but it's just like putting what I've learned here in my odd account to the test. And then starting tomorrow, I'm really going to start focusing on the wind adjustments coming into the cup. In my 77 account, my goal, my sole goal is to hit every shot going into the cup perfect. Because then I can go back and look at, okay, I know the club, I know the ball, I hit a bunch of shots perfect into the cup, and now I can start trying to dial in my wind adjustments for Tuesday and progressively get better as the week goes on so that it all comes together in the weekend round. All right, that was the practice round in the Community Cup. Thanks for watching.